What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be doing another Manchester City transfer update. I am rolling out daily Manchester City transfer updates throughout the whole January transfer window for you guys to stay up to date with here on YouTube with all the latest Manchester City transfer news. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up. 300 likes is the aim, and do get your thoughts in the comments below. So we're going to start this video off by speaking about the outs, and we've got a Manchester City member of staff that has left over the weekend. So Omar Berrada, Manchester City's Chief Operating Officer at the City Football Group, has resigned. It's come out of the blue, as confirmed by Manchester City. The Athletic have confirmed that he was set to take over as the CEO of Manchester United, and a blow for the City Football Group. And Manchester United since then have confirmed their new CEO as being Omar Berrada. So I just want to very quickly give some of my thoughts. I've already given my thoughts on Twitter, so if you haven't followed me on there, do go and follow me on there. That would be much appreciated. I think there's a lot of people reading between the lines and getting a lot of 2 + 2 = 5, including people thinking this has any impact on the 115 charges. It has very little impact on them 115 charges for Manchester City. In actual fact, I would be going as far to say that if Manchester United are appointing the guy that's in charge of the City Football Group, whose name is in a lot of the email leaks that have been put out there, which is where these charges have come from, if you're reading between the lines, would he be leaving Manchester City to go to Manchester United when if Manchester City end up being found guilty, Manchester United would probably have to let him go? So if you're reading between the lines, you could interpret that as perhaps Manchester City, and some sources have been suggesting that City could be found not guilty on not enough evidence and going along them lines. Other people are saying that he's jumped ship because they're expecting Manchester City to be found guilty. People like me, I just think that Omar Berrada has seen an opportunity here where he doesn't have to relocate. He can literally just go from working with the City Football Group and Manchester City to working for Manchester United, based in Manchester. Doesn't need to move if he's already settled here. Obviously, he's not going to be the CEO of Manchester City anytime soon. Probably a nice big bonus and a big pay rise for him at Manchester United. And at the end of the day, they're not football players, they're not football fans, they are businessmen at the end of the day. And a lot of businessmen out there, they follow the money, they follow where they're going to get paid the most, and they go and try and prolong their career and try and get right to the very top as quickly as possible. That's what ambition does to people. So there is very little loyalty when it comes to businessmen. So I'm not reading anything into it other than that. Manchester City very relaxed about the situation. There's talk of Manchester City may not even replace Omar Berrada. We'll have to wait and see. Apparently there's over 120 staff working underneath him. Whilst Manchester City have got them 120 staff working underneath him, it's very much a top chief rather than loads of resignations. Now, if there was to be loads of resignations, that'd probably cause me a lot more concern than the guy who's right at the top of the City Football Group going to Manchester United and sitting right at the very, very, very top in their job offer. So I'm not reading anything into it other than that. Situation's done and dusted. We move on. So, moving on to players. Daily Mirror, they've been speaking about Sergio Gomez and Stefan Ortega Moreno. They're going to sit down with Manchester City at the end of the season, and they're going to discuss their futures, with both being linked with the exit door. Apparently, Stefan Ortega Moreno is attracting plenty of interest in the European market and may want to leave Manchester City. We'll have to wait and see. Moving on, City youngster Yan Couto over on loan at Girona in Spain. Marca have been reporting from Spain that he's attracting interest from Real Madrid this summer. And I'm not too sure, because we're getting linked with a move for Pedro Porro, who would cost an arm and a leg to potentially long-term replace Kyle Walker. Well, we've got a right-sided defender, a player who can play at right-back and right-wing-back in Yan Couto, who's doing well at Girona. Girona doing very well in La Liga. And it would cost Manchester City nothing. I certainly think it'd be worthwhile giving him at least pre-season, and as far as I'm concerned, I just don't see what harm it would have having Yan Couto around the Manchester City first team squad for at least a season, just to see what happens. If it doesn't work and we don't think he's the right fit, move him on. That's my opinion anyway. Save some cash. Moving on, we've got the very latest though on Kalvin Phillips, and the Mirror have said that West Ham, they're set to win the race for Kalvin Phillips. Bonuses are going to be included to get that loan fee down. West Ham United are going to be paying all of his £135,000 a week wage, and West Ham more than likely going to go in with an option to buy, no obligation to buy. And Alan Nixon has echoed that and said that the loan is going to be completed shortly. All wages are going to be covered. He does mention about the bonuses, but mentions that it's going to be bonuses rather than a loan fee, and I'm not too sure what that means. When I get further clarification on the breakdown of this deal, I will let you guys know. And he also says there is no obligation to buy. Again, no mention of an option to buy either. Maybe Man City aren't happy with the price and so don't want to put a price on the market out there like we did with João Cancelo last season. City don't want to go too high or too low. That if City are just happy for him to go out on loan and see how he does at West Ham and assess again in the summer, they could go and do that. I'd be surprised though if there is no purchase option. We'll wait and see. Now moving on to the final story of the outs, got the latest on Kevin De Bruyne, and Ben Jacobs has said that Saudi Arabia, a couple of the clubs there are interested in signing Kevin De Bruyne from Manchester City. Manchester City aren't entirely sure if Kevin De Bruyne is interested in a move to Saudi Arabia, but if he does communicate to City that he is interested in a move, Man City are happy to sell, like they did with Laporte, like they did with Riyad Mahrez last summer. Manchester City, to sell him though, would be expecting an offer of over £100 million according to Ben Jacobs. That is what City deem reasonable for Kevin De Bruyne to be sold at Manchester City, even though he is 32 years old. Now, Ben Jacobs has said that Manchester City want Kevin De Bruyne to stay at the club. Pep Guardiola wants him to stay at the club as well, and Manchester City want to offer Kevin De Bruyne a new contract, and the Mirror have echoed that as well and said that Kevin De Bruyne is settled in Manchester with his family and his children. They like Manchester. Kevin De Bruyne wants to stay at Manchester City, and Man City want him on a new deal. The Saudi Arabian link is a perfect excuse for Kevin De Bruyne to sit down with Manchester City and get a new deal. City pushing for a deal until 2026. And one thing I did really like at the end of the article, apparently Kevin De Bruyne absolutely loves being in Manchester. Things you love to see. Get him on that new deal, Manchester City. Now, moving on to the In's final story of the video. Comes in the form of Savio or Savinho over at Girona. The attacker once again on the radar for Manchester City, on City's wanted list. And Manchester City, they want to reward him for a fine season so far at Girona with a move to Manchester City. City are happy to give Savio pre-season for him to showcase what he can do. And Manchester City, they think that he's good enough for the first team and happy to assess from there. If he isn't, Manchester City, they feel that if Savio isn't good enough for the Manchester City first team squad, which is really ruthless of City, they do believe that they'll be able to profit from the player in the future. That appeals to City, and Savio very much looking like he may well be a Manchester City player in the summer. This all according to the Mirror. So there we go. That has been today's transfer update. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. It is free to subscribe. I'll give you all the latest Manchester City transfer news this January. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Also, don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up. 300 likes is the aim. Do leave your thoughts as well in the comments below, and I'll see you all again tomorrow for the next Manchester City transfer update. I don't want to apologise for not having a video out yesterday. I was out and I was just super busy that I just didn't have time to get around to doing a transfer update. On it though, daily, right here, right through to January 31st. That's a promise of mine, so do stay tuned for that. I'll see you all again tomorrow for that next daily Manchester City transfer update. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.